Clubbers, it's Demo Donna here with Sparkle and Sprinkle, and here is this month's Winter Flamingos Video Kit Club card. It is super sparkly, great way to kick off your holiday card making, and I am going to be using the really fun shaved ice. This is really fun on cards as well as other like ornaments and scrapbook pages. I use this all the time. It's a really fun medium to work with. And I'm going to be using it with the adhesive. I'm actually not using it with the, I am using it with the adhesive tape and the glue to secure it down. So I'm going to show you those two techniques. And in this month's Video Kit Club, you're going to be receiving this adorable Winter Flamingo stamp set. There are 2 releases of Flamingo stamp sets this month. You're going to be receiving this one in your kit. If you want to add that to your order, go ahead. We are going to be using one of the fonts from this kit, but you're going to be receiving the digital printouts of that. So if you like, which I really do, some of the different sayings, I'm dreaming of a pink Christmas. I just love it. And all of it's really cute. So we're going to be using Wishing You the Happiest Ever, which are going to be coming in your kit pre-printed. So fantastic. Now to get started, I am going to go ahead, tell you really quick too, you also received the Nuvo watercolor set. This is Spring Meadow, and you received a watercolor set a while back. There are 4 different sets all season, so this month you're going to be receiving these. So they are going to add a little color pop to our card. So what I've done here is I've taken my 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 white cardstock and stamped it with my Stazon on my Flamingos. And then we are going to go ahead and get started on the watercolor. So if you have never used these watercolor pens before, to activate them, it's very simple. I'm going to take a little scrap piece of paper, the hotel I'm staying at. So exciting, in Canada. All right, you're going to pop your lid off. You're going to take this, unscrew it, take this yellow ring out, and you're going to trash that. And then you're going to screw this right back on, and you're going to feel it pop through. And that is going and activating all of the watercolor that's located right here in the base of the pen. And then you're just going to go ahead and give it a little squeeze. I over squeezed. You can give it a lighter squeeze. And then you could see that activates your watercolor. And then just to refill your brush, which is really nice, you just can squeeze it when you need it. Squeeze it when you need it. All right. So now we are going to take our little flamingos again, and I'm just going to quickly add a little color on these. We're going to be adding glitter over them, so you don't need to worry about being super OCD in your watercoloring. And less is more. This is not watercolor paper, but like I always say, if you want to use watercolor paper, go for it. It makes it pop. It makes the color like blend a little bit better. It's really pretty. I just always have my white cardstock on hand. So I am going, and just very lightly, I'm taking advantage of this really fine tip, and just very lightly covering over each flamingo with my pink marker. So there's flamingo number 1, flamingo number 2, and cover his little body up. And welcome to all of our new Video Kit Club members. It's been so exciting to see our Kit Club grow month after month. So welcome, and I really hope you enjoy this card this month. I had a lot of fun creating it while on the road. All right, we are almost done. Done with my small talk while coloring. Okay, Flamingo 3 is done. Okay. Now you've got your pink and your purple and your green, and I am going to do my little hats, and I'm just doing the base of it, and I'm not really worried about coloring it all in. I'm going to leave some white space, and I'm going to do that as well with their little shoes here. I'm going to leave some white space on the edge, color that in. Because you know they're shiny shoes, so there's a glare coming from that snow. Okay, so see how easy that is? If you're not one to color very often, you can see I am no expert either, and it's pretty simple. So in my sample card, I gave my middle one a purple scarf and purple shoes. You can add the purple if you want to do that as well, or you can do them all three green. Since I had the green in my hand, I just went for it. And that is it with your watercolors. Quick and easy, and a really fun way to color your stamp designs. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take in this stamp set, you get this really nice large snowflake, which worked out perfect for this when using the shaved ice, the very, very dimensional embellishment. Okay, so I'm gonna take my Stazon, and I am just gonna go and add a couple extra large snowflakes around the background here. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same with, set that aside, and I'm going to do the same thing with my actual card base. So you're receiving a regular card base, regular size card base, the 4.5 by, or the 4 1/4 by 5. And then I am going to take my snowflakes again, and I'm going to create a background. So you see the snowflakes in the background here underneath the pink paper. And I'm just going to simply do some random snowflakes around the edges. So you just want to make sure that you're covering where your paper is going to be not covering your pink paper. So I'm going to go ahead and I completed my whole card here, so I just did some random. If you want to just go ahead and stamp the whole thing, you can go ahead and do that, but that is plenty. All right, so I'm going to set that aside, and now you've actually completed all the stamping for this card, and the fun parts are left, and that is doing your glittering and your shaved ice techniques. So I am going to start out by taking my glue pen, and this was in a video kit club a little while ago, so we're not including it in this month's video kit club. But if you do not have a glue pen, you're going to want to add that, because these are a lot of fun to add just a little bit of sparkle to your stamp designs. So what I'm doing right now is I'm tracing the inside line. So I'm going over where I did my pink watercolor, but I'm not going to be adding it by the eyes. I'm going to leave the flamingo's eyes alone. All right, do the neck. And this is a really fun and quick way to add just a little bit of sparkle to all of your stamp designs. And the two glitters that I'm using, the first one is Neon Flamingo, the pink, and that is a semi-transparent glitter. So I'm going to take my little sprinkle spoon here. Tap that off. And now I've got just a little pop of Neon Flamingo. Isn't that fun? And that really just does like add like an extra dimension of that pink glitter. Now we're also going to be putting some Neon Flamingo on our saying, so I'm going to do that right now as well. And I am just going to trace over the happiest word, and I'm actually just hitting where the line is thicker. I'm not trying to trace over every letter, except I'll do that little curl. And then I'm going to do 3 little accent dots. And that's what I love about using the semi-transparent glitters, is they're really fun to make your sayings pop without becoming overbearing. You get that sparkle without covering up your image like what an opaque glitter would do. So now I'm going to set that aside, and we will come back to that later. All right, that is our flamingo bodies. Now we're going to add a couple more accents with our hat. So I did little stripes on my hats with my glue pen, and then I did little polka dots. I added like 3 polka dots inside the hat, and then I'm just going to trace over the bands on the shoes. They're little snow boots. And then just add a quick little line over the scarves. Glue pen complete. Now this is Easy Green, which is another semi-transparent glitter. And I'm going to sprinkle that over my flamingos. Give it a good tap. And now you can see that little cute addition of sparkle using the Easy Green. Okay, I am going to put this guy away. And now we are going to do our really fun shaved ice. So what I'm going to do is open up and you're going to receive this giant container, which is nice because this is going to go a long way. I'm going to open up my craft glue, which has a really nice pointy tip, and I'm not even really squeezing it out. I'm just going to let a little flow out, and then I'm just rubbing it around. It's a snowfall, so you don't have to completely cover it with glitter. And then I love these big snowflakes because when I did the smaller snowflakes, it just kind of looked messy. So with the big snowflakes, I can just add a small little dot in the center. And then when I put the shaved ice on it, it doesn't distract the actual stamp image. So where these little ones were so small, you couldn't really see the snowflake anymore. So adding that to your smaller snowflakes kind of, I mean, they just look like regular sparkly snowflakes. They don't look like a stamped image, is my point. Okay, so I'm going to tap that off. Isn't it so pretty? I love it. I love the iridescent shimmer that it gives off. And there is your snowflakes with the sparkling snow and my fun little snowfall on the bottom of my stamp design. So I'm going to let that dry while we finish the rest. So back to we're adding the shaved ice to the sides, to the borders of our back of our seine. So what you're going to want to do is, and I've started this, is you're going to trim out, you're going to receive your printed Digi stamps for the seine, and you're going to trim that down. I trimmed it down really tight. And then you're going to make another larger white cardstock background, and I did about 1/4 inch on each side. So when you're trimming it, you want it to be 1/2 inch bigger on both sides than your seine. So what I've done is added my 1/4 inch tape to the top and the bottom. I'm going to be using 1/4 inch in this video. It does not come in the kit because I know a lot of you have it, but if you don't have the 1/4 inch, you can add that to your video kit club. So I already added it to the top and the bottom and then trim the edges. Now you're going to need to pull the backing off. This is now sticky. And then I am going to add to both of the sides. And this is how you do layered borders with your Terrific tape. So now I'm going to trim off my edges, and another great trick with your Terrific tape whenever you're trimming it off is to flip over your cardstock so you can get a nice straight cut. So now I've got my 1/4 inch tape on my top, my bottom, and both sides. So I'm going to push that down and then peel off the sides. And now I've got adhesive on all 4 edges. And I'm simply going to take my shaved ice that I have left over, and I'm really pushing it down because this is a thick type of sparkly embellishment. So it's not like an ultra fine product, but it's really like thin. So you can really squish it down and get it to cover up all of your Terrific tape so your paper's not sticky. You don't want to send someone a card and it be sticky anymore. All right, so now that is my border. Isn't that pretty? I mean, look at how fun that's gonna be with like fairy cards and birthday cards. If you just wanna add a strip of tape and throw some shaved ice on the bottom of a really simple holiday card, it's gonna be a lot of fun to add that embellishment to your holiday craft projects. Ornaments too. Also looks really good with resin, just saying. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my Wishing You the Happiest Ever, and I'm just gonna add some dimension. Stick those guys on. Peel my backing off. And voila. So the reason you're just gonna use your paper is because if you decide to add this kit to the stamp set, you can use different sayings, which will be really fun and different, and you can make all 5 of your cards different. And then that way you would just make sure that you cut it accordingly to each different size. Okay, now that this is complete, we are gonna work on our pink background paper. So this is cut to 5 by 5. And now in order to make it fit on your smaller card, what you're gonna wanna do is make sure this isn't larger than 5 inches. So this fits into your 5 by 7 envelope. And I know that's just a lot of talking and not as much showing, but what you're gonna wanna do is hold it at an angle like this. And I don't want my card to be larger than 5 inches. So I'm gonna take and make sure, I'm gonna hit at the 1.5 mark. So I've got these nice grid lines on my cutter here, and I'm gonna make sure that both points are on the same line, that 1.5 mark. And then I'm also making sure here it's not larger than 5 inches, so it fits into my card base. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that. And that's how you're gonna get a nice, even cut 5 by 5 paper. So if you just line these two guys up at 1.5 and make sure it doesn't go over 5 inches, it'll still fit in your envelope. If you're not using envelopes and you want it to be taller, then go for it. All right, so I am now going to take my cut pink background paper, and we are going to be doing a layering technique with a 1/4 inch tape to add some fun sparkle in the background. And I'm just eyeballing it. Sometimes it's crooked, sometimes it isn't, so don't worry about it. It's a glittery border. And I'm going to trim my edges. And I already added my adhesive to the back, but I'll show you how I did that. So there is strip number 1. Now you're going to peel that backing off. And then I'm going to take my second one. And I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch, a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch from the edge. But I mean, it doesn't need to be exact. It doesn't need to be just like that. So flip that over, trim my edges, and peel off the backing. And now I'm going to add my neon flamingo glitter. Because I'm going to be using another glitter after this, really make sure you go in and you're burnishing in your glitter. You want to make sure that all of that adhesive is covered with your pink flamingo, or you're going to get green in it, so you don't want that. So that is side number 1, and here's side number 2. Finger tool, and I'm just going to go in and really burnish it down. So when I add my second color, I'm not going to be getting that contamination of the second color in my tape strip. So there is a nice border there with the neon flamingo. And now we're going to do the same, and we're going to layer it again with our easy green. Okay, so I'm going to take my 1/4 inch tape again, and I'm just going to eyeball that and lay that down. I'm just using my fingernail to push that down before I trim off the edges. Okay, so once you have that on, you're going to just really make sure it's nice and adhered, because you're going over glitter. So really use your fingernail tool to make sure that that is nice and pushed down over that glitter section. And now I'm going to do it again. And that creates a really fun pattern. I mean, you can keep going. You're covering up a lot of this card, but this would be a really fun background. Especially for 4th of July coming up, you could do on another card, you can do a background of, you know, red, white, and blue stripes. I'm in Canada, so Canada Day. Happy 150 anniversary, Canada. It's a thing. Look it up. All right, I am now going to use my finger tool to trim that. Peel the backing off. And now before I add my easy green, I'm sure you noticed when I flipped this over that my backing of my adhesive here had a little glitter on it. So I'm just gonna wipe that off. So when I put my easy green on it, I don't contaminate it with my pink glitter. Okay. Here we go. One. We're gonna do both sides at the same time. And I'm rubbing that in with my finger tool. And I'm just rubbing it on the tape. I'm not rubbing it over the pink tape. So I just made sure I hit my newly laid down 1/4 inch tape. All right, take my glitter resist brush and just wipe that up. And I've got some static, which is fine. I'm just gonna go over it a couple times and then I'm gonna give it a good flick. All right, there is my background with my 2 different colors of glitters and your 1/4 inch tape. So now we were all done with our glittering. We are just gonna go ahead now and assemble our card. So how I came to where to add these pieces of Terrific tape is I just basically took my card base and I just pulled that up about 1/8 of an inch, and then I flipped that over and then I made little marks. Doot, doot, doot. And then I made sure I put my adhesive on the inside of those markings. I'm just gonna do one more little strip on the bottom here. And I'm using the 1/2 inch Terrific tape. It's the largest in my roll that I brought with me. So I am using that because I don't want to run out of any adhesive while I'm on the road. That would be devastating. Okay, peel that off. And now I'm going to place this, and I'm doing it right up against the bottom. And you want it centered-ish, as much as humanly possible. So now that is adhered to my card base. And now I'm going to take these guys, and you are going to want to mount that. So this is the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and this is going on 4 by 4. So I am going to, you know what, that's still a little wet from my glue. So I'm not going to add pressure to the back of that because that would be a craft no-no. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive. That will be plenty. All right, and then center that. There we go. Tap that in. And now I am going to remove the adhesive from the back of my 4 by 4 green cardstock. Layer that on. And I'm going to just center this as well. If you are not one that likes to eyeball your things, you are always more than welcome to pull out a ruler and measure it, but I'm definitely not that particular about things being too centered. Okay, so now I have all 3 of those layers. I'm going to take our fun little shaved ice saying that we did earlier, flip that over, add a little bit of Terrific tape to that, and we are complete. Once we get this little guy on there, I'm going to go right here. I'm covering up a little bit of the hat on this one. Actually, it can come up a little bit because that is going to be the top of the card. So let's go right there. Fantastic. So you can see this one here. I brought it down a little bit closer when I put the green background on. So if you want to see that up there. You're just gonna wanna make sure you do that. That's fine. I like my cards all being different because they're all handmade special. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this month's video kit club.